Moses had met God, but didn't know him. Moses didn't know himself. When you read history, even secular history, Moses is recognized as one of the most influential figures in all of history. He was a priest. He was a general. He led his people in battle. He was a king. He organized the nation. The laws that he brought down from the mountain, the Ten Commandments, are the basis for all of Western legal theory since. Moses didn't know he had that kind of talent. Moses didn't know he had that kind of ability. One of the reasons that we're so insistent on place here, for you to take that kind of spiritual workshop, so you understand yourself, understand what you're gifted for, understand how you're wired and put together. Moses had never done the soul work to understand who he was. And in his mind, Pharaoh was still bigger. Oh, I've seen Pharaoh. I've seen his armies. I've seen his chariots. I've seen his horses. And I'm going to stand in front of him with no army? Exactly right, Moses. Because the God who's calling you from this bush is bigger than Pharaoh. And when God sends you, it's the majority. Okay? Have you heard that, seen that bumper sticker? You know, God said it, I believe it, that settles it. God said it, that settles it. It would be nice for you to agree, but it's not necessary. So go tell Pharaoh what I told him. I'm sending you. I have now equipped you. Go do what I told you to do. Some of you have that call, don't you? You know, as I was writing this message this week, I really got the sense that I'm really talking, and I wish the Lord would give me your name, because I let everybody else go home early, and you and I would just sit and talk till we got this thing worked out. Now somebody's looking around going, who's making us stay? I don't know. Who's just... You have the call, and you know it. Now, the call may be to some kind of full-time professional ministry. It may be to the parking lot. It may be to the preschool ministry. It may be to the music. I don't know. But you know. You know what you would do if you ever had the chance to do that ministry. You know what it looks like. You know what it feels like. But you never get the chance. The doors never open. And it's because you haven't disciplined yourself to study the Word. Paul told Timothy, study to show yourself approved, a workman that doesn't need to be ashamed, who can rightly handle the word of truth. You haven't disciplined yourself with the Word, so that when you get into the ministry and start doing it, you're going to be put in a situation where you should know how to respond and you won't. God will not trust you in that moment until you're ready. There's certain skills you have to learn. Just because you have the calling doesn't mean you're ready to exercise that calling. There are skills that are part of it. But you won't discipline yourself to do it. You won't humble yourself under a teacher. You know how Joseph Walker and I met? Bishop Walker and I met? I started watching him on social media. He's a social media ninja. I'm telling you, the man is serious. He's out of sight on this stuff. So I called him. I said, I want to meet with you, and I want you to teach me about social media. That's how we met. You do this better than I do. Teach me how to do this. He's amazing. And you won't humble yourself under a teacher. And you won't be ready. Put on the full armor of God. Helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth, shoes of the peace of God, shield of faith, sword of the Spirit. So on that day, you will be able to stand. So on that day, you will be able to stand. I know we talk a lot about how you can trust God, but that's not the question this morning. The question this morning is, can God trust us? Is there a moment, is there a situation that God created you for? And the moment happens, and he looks at you and knows you aren't ready. You know somebody in slavery. You know who they are. There's somebody you know crying out. And the Lord will answer that prayer. The Lord will set them free just as soon as you and I get ready.